Welcome to the Strong Casuals podcast. My name is Ben. I'm here with Anthony and the Chord King, Eric.
Hello.
Just for reference, I'm saying Chord King.
Chord King.
Yeah, I talked to some of our listeners, and they were a bit confused what I was saying. I'm saying Chord King.
Because
those listeners were definitely not related to me.
got a damn lot of chords to make this happen.
He did.
Yeah, it's all of the chords. We're back.
We've been here, dog.
So we're going to talk arm wrestling, and specifically East vs. West 16.
Yes.
Which it's been a hot minute.
February
since that
15th.
happened.
It's half a month.
I mean, as far as we're concerned, that was yesterday.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they just came out on YouTube, basically. So
Yep.
if you want to watch them, you can now.
You can comment, you Callinization rats.
Like, subscribe.
Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. Put a comment on this one, guys.
Yeah. Let us know
Whatever
what
it
you
is.
thought.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know what you thought.
What's your opinion on Georgian events?
Honestly,
Yeah.
email us.
Email us.
Strongcasuals@gmail.com.
Yeah, throw us an email.
Do it.
That's electronic
cash.
mail.
Yeah. Send cash.
Wire us some money. No, but so this happened overseas.
It did.
As
they do often.
And while everybody seems to put Engen on a pedestal for matchups, I think he's tripped a few times. This one though, there's some good matches.
Yeah, I thought basically every matchup was on paper it was almost a perfect matchup, and most of them played out great. All competitive matches for the most part, except one or two. We'll talk about them, but
there wasn't a ton of like zeros.
No, there wasn't. The ones that the ones that were zeros were almost to be expected. Basho, Saganishvili, Levon's cousin, beat up on Brad Grundy 3-0.
Yeah.
Once again, that's what I'm saying. It's like you knew. You knew. You know, Frank Lamparelli lost to Sergey Kalinichenko 3-0. It's like you could kind of see it. I mean, Sergey is a problem, and Frank's been up against good guys a lot, so it's tough to.
Though I like him.
Yeah, I love Frank, but he's been up against monsters nonstop, so it's tough to say where he's at because he's just getting absolute animals in his fight. But who else? Dave Didikian, 3-0's Kardasha.
But the Kardashian match, I mean,
that was competitive
match,
for a while.
That was fun to watch for a while. It was.
Most of honestly, every round in that Didikian fight, I thought that Kardasha could have won any of those rounds, just didn't.
I mean, he's a beast of a man. I mean, he's got it looked like he got. I mean, he's got to have 50 pounds maybe on him. And again, arm wrestling weight's not everything.
Right.
I mean, mass moves mass to a degree, but not like
I don't know,
the way it does on table.
Didikian he kind of looks like a lot of guys. He's just unassuming.
Yeah, but I mean,
in comparison to Kardasha, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it was actually like it was an actual fight. Yeah, it ended 0-3, but like it was fun to watch.
Actually, now that I'm going through this, all of these
were zeros.
Almost every match,
but they were fights.
You're right,
man.
they were. No, every match was.
What I meant was that they
Yes.
were not zeros in spirit.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it.
Because a lot of these, I feel like a lot of the cards before, it's just like smish.
Yeah, Fia Reisik versus Malin Kleinsmith. That was a smashing. She actually, Malin. I think that was one of her first matches with this organization, and Fia Reisik's been. It was for a world title, so maybe I'm a complete freaking idiot, and I don't know what Malin's been pulling. She's going for the title, but Fia
they're both Swedish, so no matter what happened, we won.
They're still friends.
Actually, they probably are.
In the end, they're still friends. They probably could come from the same camp. You never, And Fia's like,
Sweden. No.
No, dude. I mean, maybe.
Dude, as a side note, people in Scandinavia care about strength. And it's in our blood. Okay, moving on.
Okay, we know he's claiming. I mean, okay, we get it. You're Swedish, dude. You look good, dude. You're white as...
Not as good as most Swedish women.
Well, yeah. If only we all were as beautiful as Swedish women. But we're just not.
Can we make that shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
you're my Swedish woman. That's what it'll say. I'm with Swedish woman, and then the other shirt says I'm Swedish woman. Yeah,
we'll wear it to our next booth.
Yes, dude. Fia Rysick might have been the only dominant 4-0 that was like it was a smashing, but Fia's a champion for a reason. She's incredible. Daniel Prokopchuk lost to Oleg Zukh. I don't even know who that Oleg is. There's so many damn Olegs in arm wrestling.
There's a high density of Olegs.
It was 2 Olegs on this card alone.
And I only have 2 legs.
Oh, nice. Like Olegs. I have 0. Oh. I'm Lieutenant Dan in it over here. You guys just don't see that. You don't see that. That's for the Patreon. But no.
Speaking of our Patreon, no, I'm just kidding.
It's in construction. Could be for the foreseeable future.
Okay, before we move on from that Oleg match, though, because Keely had the belt.
No, so that match.
So Oleg took the 95 kg belt from him?
That's what it looks like.
My question is, how the heck did Betkilioniani have the belt before him?
I don't know. That was a pretty dominant one, too, I remember.
Because he came in all jacked up and whatever, and then Petrenko just
steamrolled him.
Beat with him. Beat with him?
Excuse you? Excuse you?
It's not that kind of show, man.
I apologize. It was for a world title. He can do whatever he wants.
But, like, it did not seem like a world title match to me.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the Fia Rysick versus Malin Kleinsmith, for these world titles, it's like, I don't know where any of these people have been.
I mean, and that's kind of the world of arm wrestling right now, too. What do these things actually mean?
Right. The only thing that's really outlined that core sports or any of them have is like they have the top men rankings, kind of, and left and right, and that's almost it.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one that's not a heavyweight ranking. I don't know any of the other weights that are ranked. So nobody's keeping a ranking.
And it's not. And these are, again, this is kind of sideshow stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah. No. You can, if you just call it a title, then you get an extra. You get 7 rounds if you want. That's really what it is.
And a really big belt.
Yeah, they do have some solid belts. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But Oleg Petrenko smashed Betkilioniani
for a belt.
For the belt. Congrats, Oleg. The first super heavyweight match, or the first super match of the night, was Michael Todd versus Hermes Gasparini.
And the devil won.
The devil. Satan was on the side of Hermes.
Dude,
now.
I can't handle him anymore.
Michael Todd, holier than thou, or he would never say holier than thou.
No,
but
and I was about to get on his giant RV pasted with his face because, like, I mean,
I was about to tuck myself right into that monster factory and never turn back.
Yeah, I was about to paint myself green. But like, and like he had totally had his comeback, and now he's just been converted.
I don't know.
Listen, I have nothing against people who praise Jesus.
Yeah,
but dear Lord, dude,
I know, dude. I deal with this a lot in watching like any MMA or in the Olympics in track and field, or I mean, every single person in the Olympics who gets interviewed. They didn't even race.
I'd like to thank Jesus.
There was nobody racing. It really wasn't even me. I'm the whole vessel thing.
I am a medium.
I am merely a vessel. He is within thee, and he ran that 9-9. You're like, okay, what? Did he?
No, he didn't.
Well, then why are you here? Right. What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
He can't. It's just like it's a whole thing. It's like, and you just see it at the highest end of sport because these people are putting themselves into like ethereal realms when they're doing things. Like their only place they can go is like, well, if God doesn't save me, I'm gonna go out in this workout half the time. And so I feel like everybody just has to find that dark place. But Michael went way into the darkness, and it's like he needs to just relax. Hermes, he put up a fight, but Hermes really stopped him with every hit.
He just went straight. I mean,
I'll put this on paper. I can't stand a King's move, man.
Well, then you can't watch. Then you cannot watch Michael Todd ever.
It's a bone lock, dude.
He just drops right away, which he did multiple times. He got called for it once. Then he was all mad about it. But dude, if you're gonna just drop and open up, like what? Okay.
And even this was, pretty obvious. the refs were absolute shit all night. They kind of were. Everybody was complaining about them.
Welcome to any East versus West.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like they were shit in a world of shit. So you're like, why is it exceptionally bad tonight in a night that there's some massive matches?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Michael Todd complaining that his elbow foul is not sliding off the pad.
Okay. Here's the touche moment though.
Yeah.
It wasn't me that lifted my elbow above off the pad. It was him.
Yeah. He knew I was going to snap something if I didn't slide off the back of that pad.
There were some hilarious elbow fouls. Like, I mean, literally, like, they're like 6 inches off pressing.
And
the ref is like, I don't know. Like,
dude, there was one time, or what was it during, who was it? During the last match? I think it was during Devin's match, where he was tapping shoulders for like 12 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah.
Shoulders. Like on Gennady nor Devin were even moving, and we're just like, it was just it's become an absolute joke at this point. I mean, if every American ref seems to be, nobody has any like anybody, or when we talked about Eric, he didn't really mention like reffing being like, once again, he talks, obviously it's a difficult job, but in the Americas, it doesn't seem like there's that many issues from what like you hear.
I mean, I think it's like
why is it only on the grandest stage?
It's like reffing for the Super Bowl, but it's a bunch of 6-year-olds,
right?
Because you're like
it's reffing the Super Bowl, but you've only reffed like powder puff, like pickup ball.
Well, and it's like he said, it's a show. I mean, it's a TV show. It's like we want people to actually watch it. And so if you like call everything, you kind of got to let some stuff go and whatever. But like
Engen has like 2 good refs, and it seems like the other guys are just like his boys.
The thing is that like the good refs exist.
Yes.
I mean, there's like international federations that find some pretty darn good refs.
Well, that like the guy with the super short hair, the like short guy, the baldish guy who actually pulls. I've seen like he refs well. But like these two have been interchangeable. Like the last 2 for this event have been interchangeable. I've seen them in other stuff, but not like as head refs.
It just seems like they're thrown into it without really knowing what the hell they're doing. And they might understand technically what what they need to do, but they don't seem learned.
Well, it's like, Engen, how can you get the best pullers in the world, but you don't know a ref?
Yeah, or I'm saying like I wonder if the refs are coached to be like, I mean, if it looks cool, rule of cool it.
Maybe.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think there was a whole lot. Like, again, this is like getting into the same thing with the rules in strongman. It's like, if you're going to have them, you got to enforce them. And if you don't enforce them, it's just kind of the Wild West. And at the same time, if it's going to be the Wild West, okay, but then don't come back and like complain that you lost on like elbow fouls or something.
Right. Yeah, it's because, I mean, when reffing is bad, I mean, it's already sometimes when like somebody like Devin is just really in full-blown Devin mode, it almost can become insufferable when the reffing is bad because Devin's screaming at the ref half the time.
Half the time?
Okay, 88% of the time. And it's like you can barely... There's nothing happening, but just absolute utter chaos for like 10 minutes between rounds.
Yeah.
You'll walk away for like 15 minutes, come back, and not a single hand position has even happened.
Right.
It's like, it's crazy how long it takes to get just ref's position.
Believe it or not, that's not going to pull in viewers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know that yet, but we can send them an email.
Hermes and King's Move, honestly, is hilarious because from the viewer standpoint, if you don't know arm wrestling, you're like, damn, that's weird. I kind of want to whatever
well, it
that
just looks wrong.
It looks wrong, and you're like, how is that legal? And then you have to explain to him. You're like, well, it's legal because his elbow's there, but it's a shit tactic unless you actually know what you're doing. And even when you do, you know what you're doing at the highest level. This guy's still gonna lose. You can do it all day.
Well,
and you're gonna break your fucking arm if you don't do it right anyway.
It's just dumb.
It is dumb. But that's what I'm saying. When you see somebody like Michael Todd do it, he's at the highest level of the sport.
Yeah, well.
And relying...
Is he at the or is he...
Actually, he's at the highest level. There's never been a higher level.
He's got
unless you're Paul Lynn, there's never been a higher level. Okay,
he's got John the Baptist on the table.
He literally does.
He's top rolling.
I wouldn't he pulls chains out. And he has like one of every saint that's ever existed, like 15 chains with just all different saints. His
arms are getting big enough where I'm sure he could pop like most of the pantheon.
Dude, his arms are big enough. His PR pronation lifts with back pressure, without back pressure. All of his lifts are looking great on Instagram.
That TRT is kicking in.
If you cannot beat Hermes Gasparini, you're not gonna sniff Levon Saganishvili. I'll just say it.
Well, duh.
But it's like, no, his thing was, it's Levon's next. He's like,
well, the devil won.
Yeah,
the devil went down to Italy.
He did, and its name
is.
I get it, it's Hermes, but it was a crazy.
Gasparini.
He is. He's friends with Frank Lamparelli, and he won.
Hot pocket.
Thank God, Italy is success. 1 of 1.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, Michael, Hermes is a big dude.
Honestly,
he's a good polar.
Besides Levon and Vitali and Artem, Hermes is absolutely the best in the world. So it's like Michael had to beat him, and if he didn't, that's what's happening. So it's like, but Michael also called out recently. He's like, I'm willing to take the winner of Hermes and Levon is next. Levon is next, I think. What did Levon post? Or Vitali posted?
Yeah.
Something today. Hermes and Levon is next, I believe, right?
I think so. I mean, I don't know.
Vitali's after that.
I don't know it's going to go the same way. But, I don't know. I'm just running out of Michael Todd Jesus jokes. But they just seem to satisfy me so much. I don't know. I thought we were going to see
a different
Michael Todd after his, a couple wins, and he was getting back into things. And I mean, he's still an incredible puller. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But I think you're just pushing the whole. He's become a preacher.
It is, and that's not. Nobody wants to hear that. I mean, nobody wants to hear you preach to anybody.
Literally, yeah.
It's the worst. Todd Hutchings
was really fun to watch, as he is all the time.
Honestly,
beat on Irakli.
This was for a world title as well, and Irakli had the belt. I did not think, and we love Todd, but we know who Irakli is at the same time.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I knew it was gonna be a heck of a match.
I didn't think Irakli was gonna lose, but
Todd just he has no quit.
It was so impressive. Once he took his hand and beat Irakli's wrist, it was over.
Yeah,
and it was every round after that, and he didn't make a dent. And Todd's. I mean, he's in his. Is he almost 50?
He's over 50.
He's like 53 or something like. The guy is. He is an absolute monster.
58.
Still. Oh my god, dude!
Irakli's 27.
He's such an animal.
Yeah, he is.
And I love Todd Hutchings so much.
He's the guy who he's just he's grinded for so long. He just knows. Yeah, it's it's like backgammon.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're like the guys that they're the math whizzes that run all the probabilities in backgammon. And then they're just the dudes who've been playing it so long.
Yes.
That they're not running math in their head. They just know what to do.
Yes. If you want to see an incredible match, watch that match on YouTube. Todd Hutchings versus Irakli. I mean, that match is so damn good.
It's an actual back and forth. They're both gassed by the end of it.
So gassed.
When I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, man, some of these matches, when they beat them right out and there's just no competition, it's you probably afterwards you're just well, let's go do some fun pulling.
Right.
But those are the matches where it's they're not pulling it. Well, they might later, but then they might pull somebody at that afternoon, whatever.
You just leave. It's one of those leave everything on the table examples.
It's the few times that I've lifted really heavy, maxed out things. Mm-hmm. You just kind of want to do nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally nothing.
Right.
And I imagine that's probably where they were at. But it was a good match to watch.
That's how that's how you want to end the match. You want to
be gassed.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Don't leave anything on the field.
Exactly. You don't want to leave anything for chance. You're I could have gone harder. Oh, well, then you probably should have gone harder, huh?
Yeah.
When people say that, I could have gave a little bit more, then, Oh, well, then probably should have done that. I mean, it's like just in these examples, in the highest of the sport, you're like, probably should just do that. There's no doubt that Todd and Irokley left absolutely everything on that table, and Todd is the new champion, which is super rad. The next match was Devin Larratt versus Gennady
Devin
Kavina.
looks funny. Dude is like, he looks like he's on, I know he's on roids, but I mean like
he looks like he's on creatine and then forgot about it. Like in this one, he's like super form of.
He looks like he's on like a not an anabolic steroid. Like he looks like he's on a steroid.
It's
like he looks like he has edema in his face.
It's like the Super Shredder from Secret of the Ooze, when Shredder got like too much of the green ooze on him, and it just like he came out like at the docks and he's just juiced out of his mind, like breaking out of his suit. You're like, chill out, dude. You're gonna destroy the hoodie. It's one of those things where
he looks he does. He looks like a freaking cartoon villain.
He does. It's like,
wasn't he like, he's pushing, I don't know how heavy he was when he weighed in, but he was
300, I think is what he said.
Yeah,
to Levon during like one of the vlogs. Yeah, it's like what he's like anthropomorphic in the sense that he can just move around however he wants, grow into whatever form he needs to. Gennady's a thick villain-esque character, so he's like, I'll just get into Gennady form. But
Gennady does look like a villain.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, like, I worry about what Devin does to his body. I don't think he cares. I think ever since he went through whatever he went through in the Special Forces, he's just kind of like, meh, life is temporary, do whatever you want.
I think his mind is incredibly strong at this point. So it's like his ability to bounce back for everything we've seen so far is pretty impenetrable from what we can see from the outer aspect. And he's done treatment, doing other things, and it's like, I mean, the guy's he's trying to sharpen that thing constantly. Yeah, even if his belly looks distended.
I'm just a little worried about. I'm worried about the temple in which his mind exists.
Yes, no, agreed. Agreed. The man is probably missing like multiple bricks at the bottom of his pyramid, but like.
Yep.
But it's like a huge pyramid.
Yeah, he'll be okay in the end.
Yeah, structurally, it's sound. But for how long, I have no idea.
No one knows.
It's some quick erosion could happen at any moment. But
I think he does need to maybe chill out on these cycles a little bit. But, whatever.
But from this match, I would say change nothing. Because he smashed Gennady so hard.
I wasn't all that surprised about that, but... Because nothing really,
not with Devin anymore.
Devin, if it's not Levon,
that was the only thing that's ever surprised me was the way Levon stopped Devin.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking in the matter of Devin matches.
Yeah, totally.
It's just like, but yeah, it's like he's so insane. He's just so insanely dominant. But this is the opposite kind of what somebody who's dominant in a sport does, where it's like you want charisma, you want reality TV.
Just put
Devin
the camera
gives
on
it tenfold.
Yeah, that's why That's why I'm not gonna like hate on him going insane, because
honestly, he pulled back in comparison to what he's done. He was
kind of standard Devin for this,
which is what he should do. The second Devin feels the guy's hand, it's over. In his mind, he knows exactly what he's going to do or how he's going to do it, and he can let the mind games go.
Well, Gennady was giving it back to him too.
Yeah, I like that.
He was yelling at it and slapping him, pulling him around, doing all those things that he does.
That match was one where I was like, yeah, they were almost in a fight, but not almost in a fight. Like, it's like there was enough tension that it wasn't. He's not fucking grappling him. It's
right.
It was.
He's not trying to wrestle him.
Right. It was. I thought it was a great match, but Devin had his hand and his brain the entire time. I mean, Gennady was trying everything to do everything, but
it's just
when Devin's got you, he's got you. It really didn't make a difference one way or the other.
The one thing I do like that Devin does is he like always wants to like lock eyes with the guy.
Yes.
So like there was a bunch of times where he had Gennady done. And he would just sit there and look at him.
Well, and it's like he's
like assert dominance.
He gets upset like when they don't lock eyes with him. He's like, "Look at me." He's like,
I worry a little bit about what happens after these matches. Like, I hope he's able to calm down.
Well, from the sounds of it, I mean, every event, I guess there's an after party and everybody's pulling everybody.
Right. In more ways than one. Just kidding.
Ew. I mean, if it's a party, it's a party. The real main event, the proper main event for the left arm, super heavyweight title, Artem Morozov, Vitaly Letin.
This was fun to watch.
So, yeah, I haven't even watched all of this match because this was actually the only part during the stream that it was actually it was completely messing up.
Oh.
And it bummed me
I went
the hell
back
out.
I
need to rewatch this
one.
match. So, yeah, tell me what you think then.
No, I mean, I think that it's, first of all, it's hilarious to watch Vitaly walk up to a table ever. Especially when he's up against, like, Artem's not a small guy, but
he's
Vitaly's
a short guy.
So he's like, it looks like he's like bending over. He is bending over.
Mm-hmm.
He's like hunchback down, gonna get his arm on the table. Artem, like, I mean, he's always been a big guy, but he got the super soldier serum for this one. That dude is like, there's no way he's holding that weight without some pretty wild, Eastern medicine, and Eastern European medicine.
I think it's just seal baculum or whale walrus baculum.
It's just a whole bunch of whale penis. But like I think that's how he popped his stuff. I mean, I think that's how he tore his arm because dear Lord, I mean, there are sometimes
just over revving.
You earn tendon strength, you don't build it. So like he can put on as much weight as he did on with like of muscle, but the tendons were not there.
Like the frame of his vehicle was not strong enough for the torque that his arm was putting out.
Dude was like, there were a couple times where he'd move his like arm and like he'd get definition that IFBB pros would be like, damn, like and like obviously this is a sport where biceps matter, but like okay, so let's whatever. Vitaly's grip came in to play a couple times because there was a couple of times Artem was looking to slip out, wanted to slip, and Vitaly just there's a great like maybe 15-second period where Vitaly just got him by the thumb.
Yes, I love those.
And he's just like holding him by his thumb because Vitaly
like with Brian and Eddie, like when Eddie would try to slip out, Brian's like,
no, come here.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all know Vitaly's grip is insanity.
The best in the world.
So, I mean, he just held him for a while. Now, like, I don't know about that because you're burning out as much as he's burning out. But when eventually they got in straps, it was like when you took grip out of it, it was a little bit more even.
Oh, really?
But Vitaly, I mean, is just like, he's Vitaly. I mean, he's just
how long like was each sequence typically in the straps?
They fought in straps. And there's a couple times where they're just working out on the strap.
Yeah.
And like it was a fight for sure. But then once Artem's arm got messed up, it was over.
So, but Artem won. It looked like what, one round before it was it?
Yeah. Well,
before his arm was jacked up, or was it by falls?
The 4, 5, and 6. I mean, the last rounds after I think the third rounds we got it messed up, and after that it was just over.
Okay.
Because it wasn't. I mean, he was there and he was kind of fighting, but you could tell his arm was done.
So that first round that he won, did he just have more energy? Like he was ready for that hit?
Yeah, And I mean, sometimes I don't know if Vitaly's not the fastest dude in the world, but once Artem's arm, because you could see it happen.
But he still won that round, or did it happen in that fourth round then? Because he won the third round, it said as well.
I think it was it must have been the fourth then.
Okay,
because he was like,
did you see it fail?
Grabbed it like round was over, and then he grabs onto his forearm. You don't see anything snap or anything. But he knew something went wrong.
Oh, boy.
And then after that, he he was there. But he wasn't going to, he was done.
Right.
But I think that's there's no doubt in anybody's mind that all these dudes are juiced up.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of part of the game.
Yeah.
It's like you have to cycle appropriately and you have to make sure that like, I'm not hating on steroids by any stretch, but I'm saying you got to be able to do them right. Yeah.
It's like if you're these two specifically, you're the best in the world.
Yeah.
The absolute best in the world besides Levan Saganishvili. You put your arm into the red every single match like this specifically.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it perfect, I mean, it's just what's going to happen. Your arm's not.
Yeah. Well, we see this in all the strength sports we watch all the time. I mean, that's like Maxime busting his bicep.
Yeah.
I mean, Trey
Mitchell tearing his Achilles.
Yeah. I mean, there's some of that stuff is like unavoidable, but like there is I don't know, it's probably a different thing for a different time, but a lot of these sports where like these younger guys or the guys in general, they want to be at the top right now, and the road to the top is paved with a whole lot of needles,
right?
And so it's like they want to be you want to be Devin.
Yeah,
it's like, but you don't realize Devin's been pulling for longer than these guys have been alive,
right?
And so there's a lot of like, let's get there fast. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's happened with Artem.
No,
but I think he's a younger guy who's clearly on gear, and like you're gonna bust tendons
when you see the man's arms. You're just okay. Well, that's interesting
literally
because somebody like Vitaly, who it's like maybe he is, but he's doing it the right. Whatever's going, if he is. He's doing something right. He's proportionate to whatever is going on with his body.
Well, he also just innately. I mean, there's like genetics are a huge thing, right? And so part of that is playing to his benefit.
It has mostly to do with truck driving.
I think so too.
Hauling, I believe, is what
hawks, man.
If you haul across country, especially the Arctic tundra like Vitaly does, I mean,
it's just it's
he's been arm wrestling Inuits and polar bears forever.
He's got a polar bear. Artem clearly, I think he's maybe hitting the gear a little bit because he had wild beard when he was pulling too, because he looked like a friggin'
like a prepubescent high schooler.
Yeah, because he's got like
patchy
and like I don't know. We should do an entire episode on steroids.
That'd be cool. You should research it hard, like one night.
Like talking about them or taking them?
No, for sure we should.
I'm not gonna take them. So
okay, well that's sissying out, but that's fine. We can talk about them.
And powerlifting
we just boot each other up on screen, dude. Who cares, dude?
In like literally 2 months, and I don't want to fail a test.
We are
because of test.
You're not trying if you're not on gear, dude. We're just talking about it now.
No, this is why we should have it's a whole podcast.
I can't do needles,
steroids.
so I'm out,
dude.
You can take them orally.
Oh,
I'm all natty.
Everybody finished.
I'm all natty, and it's not helping.
Yeah, well,
I need the needles, dude. Not insulin, the good ones.
Just like, yeah, you should just start taking a bunch of Tren to sit and watch TV. Fucking
dude, I should, dude.
Like, no, don't do that.
I should take anabolics and just play video games.
Just got fucking Popeye arms.
Yes, but no, Vitaly, whatever he's doing it right.
I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. His grip is insane, and his arms are insane. And even though Artem had if Artem could have lasted longer, that could have looked different.
Yeah, you're right.
If Artem didn't bust up his arm, then that could have looked different. But
and like I said, I mean that's one of the highest. Yeah, that's one of the highest level matches you can put on. So it's like I really hope Artem comes back around and does stuff the right way, because I would love to see that match again when they can both go 7 rounds together. It's just like, on paper, Vitaly is supposed to face whoever Levon. I think Levon is supposed to face Hermes because that was a left-handed match. So obviously Levon is right and left-handed champion, I think. But the right-handed one is what everybody talks about. Hermes will be facing Levon for the right-handed title. And then I believe Vitaly is supposed to face the winner of that, which I don't remember the last time did we just see Vitaly versus Hermes, right?
Maybe.
Did we? Like, I feel...
I don't see Levon losing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't. But the last time they pulled, he stopped Levon's hit. And if you do that at all, I mean, that's insane.
Slow him down.
I mean, just because you just think that nobody should be able to stop whatever he's putting out, because that's pretty much exactly what's going on a lot of the time. Vitaly faced Hermes in December of 2023, right arm. But yeah, it's just...
We should have 2 people.
Do what?
Arm wrestle Levon.
We should. You're not wrong. The best in the world have done literally nothing to him. It's kind of messed up, actually. And the interesting thing about Levon, as opposed to somebody else who's incredibly dominant in the sport, is like Levon just walks around like king. He doesn't even have to, because he's so dominant. You don't even want to give him a mid-match because it's a joke. You can't he's already beaten every best guy in the world once.
It's lonely at the top, man.
It is.
It also has to be this could be a whole nother thing, but it is lonely at the top, and I think it's probably for him. It's like it has to be it has to kind of take a toll on your motivation, I'd imagine, because it's like I don't know I honestly don't know anything about his like life outside of what it's polling, but like there are guys that like training who like they could suck and they're still going to train.
Yeah.
But there's also guys that are like, they train because they want titles.
Yeah.
And if the title's an assumption, it's like, well, why am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I even doing?
Right.
Like, why am I putting in this much time when I'm so far and above everybody else that it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Barbara, she's not necessarily there. She still has to fight a little bit, I think, but like,
but really only
same
against
thing.
Gabby.
It's like, right.
Only against Gabby she has to fight.
So it's the same thing. It's like, what am I doing? And I'm not saying they're going through this at all, but if I were in their position, I wouldn't care because I'm like, well, I'm just like to do the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like people in strength sports getting injured all the freaking time. It really throws a wrench into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, because that's
just don't do it, idiots.
that is the easy way
just
out.
Stop getting injured.
That is an easy way out.
It's not that hard, okay?
This is true.
It is that hard, but whatever.
But yeah, I mean, it's when you're pulling as little as somebody like Levon, injury could, I mean, it doesn't do that much, but like.
But it almost doesn't matter even if he does get injured. Because when he comes back, it's going to be the same freaking thing.
I know. Yeah, it does. His last injury didn't seem to change a damn thing. No, I mean, he faced Devin at the time, who everybody believed was the absolute best in the world, and he just was like, yeah, no,
done.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's not.
Right.
And granted, he's got 150 pounds on Devin at the time, but like Devin showed that, in some ways he showed that weight doesn't necessarily matter. Levon is different. He's like a Hulk.
I mean, mass moves mass, but there's a plateau.
Yeah, certainly.
There's a point at which there's enough mass.
Yeah, where it starts to matter again. Where it's like, and Levon is that human being, and it's fine because I like it when he doesn't pull that often because I don't want to see what he does to people all the time because you're like, well, that's nothing. He doesn't have to, it's doing nothing. Same with Barbora. I like them having matches far apart.
Yeah. I think what we need more of is like most people that get into strength sports, especially like arm wrestling. Well, not especially arm wrestling, just arm wrestling is kind of its own niche thing. But like a lot of people who say, like in America, they go to college, they're like, maybe they're even a D1 athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And then college ends and their options are like, well, now I'm going to coach my kids, like my kids team.
Right.
And maybe I'll keep training, but it's like, what do I do? And I think these strength sports like arm wrestling and strongman and all these things are like fantastic pivots for these people.
I agree.
It's like, listen, you can maintain your, like training convictions. You can just apply them to this, what is currently a niche sport, and you can do really well.
Yeah. There's
a guy that, I can't think of what his name is right now, but he was on a podcast I was listening to, and he just runs a gym. He's a powerlifting coach, and he's like, he pulls all these guys in who are in that situation, like, and maybe they weren't even D1 athletes. Maybe they were like D3 athletes, whatever. Yeah. They're still built dudes.
Right.
But their concern has always been training for things that improve their sport. So like sport focused training. And then, but it's like, they don't recognize that the numbers they're putting up will make them a king in the world of whatever.
Right.
Like he was talking about this dude that walked in and it was like, he was a D1 D lineman. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we got to figure out where you're at. Mm-hmm. So he's like going to max him out on bench. Well, like get him as close as he feel comfortably can without messing him up. Dude, like throws down benches over 500 the first time the guy even meets him. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, well, it's not that great. And it's like, Are you out of your goddamn mind? Yeah. This is the first time, like he's been benching his entire life, but he's never like thought of the idea that well, you could go into powerlifting.
Yeah.
You're not on gear.
Right.
You could get into one of the tested federations and you cut a little weight and you actually squat correctly and suddenly you're whatever.
Well, that's, like those, when you watch the NFL combine, like
Yeah.
the running backs, like go to the bench and they'll, I think they're putting up 225, I believe is what they hit.
That's what they meant.
And then it's like, you put up like 26 reps and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. What? Like, what are we doing? Just like, and that's just like, they're just doing it for that combine. But obviously, every massive running back, anybody who's really into football, they're crazy in the gym. Everybody's always in the gym because their strength coaches are extremely high level strength coaches. All the any of those college teams, those NFL teams, like super high level strength coaches that they have. So it's like, then they know the weight room will improve so much of their game just by being there. And then once you're out of football, it's like you don't realize like how much that is. Granted, somebody in football, you don't have to do anything. You are set for life. You don't. But if you continue to enjoy training and you like competition, that's an avenue.
Well, and I feel like arm wrestling could be a great avenue for these people because it's like as far as your whole body is concerned. I mean, it wreaks havoc on your arm joints, on your shoulder and your elbow. But but
if you're good at recovery already, and
and if like you want to stay active in something and do well in something, like. Go do that.
Brian's a pretty good example. I mean, Brian's like in an age where it's like he shouldn't need to do anything, but he can because arm wrestling is there for people who are also in the older age bracket. Like you can pull as long as your arm is still there.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's a far less global taxation of your system. Have you seen his weight loss? He dropped like 40, 50 pounds. Dude looks like a different person.
It's crazy.
But I think that I think I was saying this last night, but like he's like retiring with grace and doing all the right stuff.
Yes.
And so like, I mean, mad props to Brian Shaw.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, and if you don't appreciate Brian Shaw coming into the sport, showing like incredible gratitude and like is like happy to be here, like, and he's
and he's like not a dick.
Like also Brian not being a complete asshole really helps.
Yeah, I mean he's not, but he hasn't even been, like, I mean, well, we don't have to get into.
That's just because he was in a Devin Larratt camp. It had really nothing to do other than
and like, I mean his early years in the world, there are some things, but
not in his arm wrestling.
We don't have to unpack that.
Yeah, not in his arm wrestling life is the thing. So it's like he's coming to arm wrestling in the right place, and I'm extremely excited to see him pull somebody who's an arm wrestler. Like it'll be very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think he just needs to get more. He just has more time on a table.
They've announced a bunch East vs. West 17 stuff.
Georgie?
Yeah, Georgie Svedkov is going to be facing Dave Chafee. That's a good match. I really like that. I don't, it's like stuff like this.
Battle of the Bold.
My assumption is that Georgi is going to win because Georgi's in the top 10 and Dave's just trying to bust back in.
Yeah.
But
he looked really good last match though.
Also, I believe this is in I think this is in America again.
He is a big man.
In Arlington, Texas, March 29th.
Hey.
Getting closer. It's getting if it goes to Chicago, we're so there.
Hey, let's make it happen, Engen.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Sarah Bachman will be back, pulling Jocelyn Britton.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Devin will be pulling left arm, Corey West. I don't know what this is supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like somebody commented because the caption says, "Who will be the left-handed king of North America, Devin Larratt or Corey West?" And somebody's like, "Corey West is ranked 3rd. He's not even number 1." So you're like, okay, what are we doing here? There's always going to be
anybody can comment,
right? But that interesting fact.
Well, I mean, Corey trained with Michael,
dude.
So maybe he's got some of that like. Some second-hand piety.
Who just didn't? Who'd Corey just lose to? Wasn't it Michael? Somebody or Travis? Travis got smashed by Corey. Remember?
Yeah.
When Travis came back, he lost to Corey. I mean, that's just Devin's. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Devin's winning that match. It's his left arm, but I don't.
Especially if he maintains his
Corey West's body.
Exactly. Yeah,
stays in Corey West form. This is another really good match. Kurtagali Angarbayev is going to be pulling against Matt Mask. That's a good match.
Matthew.
dude. What's this say? Yeah, so Matt Mask beat Marcio Barbosa, and he's he called for a top 10, and that's Kurdigali. So good luck, Matt Mask.
Kurdigali's got some tricks up his sleeve.
He
does.
does.
So we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah,
that'll probably be a fun technical match to watch because
this. I really like that match. I really like this match. This Hunter Knopfs, who I think is a serious up and comer. He's at 77 kilos, right arm American, facing Valen Lowe. First time at East versus West. He's from Singapore. Yeah, I'm very interested. Anytime they bring over these Asian guys, I'm very interested. They're like Central Asian guys, not like, Eastern European Russian guys, but these
Yoshinobu.
Yeah, exactly, like Yoshi and stuff like that. Those guys, it's always going to be interesting. And Singapore has a lot of arm wrestlers. I remember when Schoolboy was doing a series over there, and they have like full-on gyms like for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So
it's because the rest of the world cares about being strong. And in the United States, we just like to think we're really strong, eat a bunch of ho-hos, and
if you put a 12-inch lift on your truck, you're strong.
Yeah, if you can comment on Reddit, you're strong.
Yes. Yeah, that's gonna be a good match.
We should do some rant podcasts because I could rant.
We can just make half the podcast rants.
Whatever.
We should get more used to it.
We don't care about being strong.
Yeah.
And that's not like an alpha male BS whatever. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
We just don't value strength, and it doesn't have to be a pissing contest. It doesn't have to be some alpha male toxic masculinity BS. We can just all recognize that being strong can be an okay thing.
It is okay. I'm not strong, but I want to be.
You're casually strong.
I'm casually strong. I'm mentally strong. It's all up here. I have a piece of metal up here though too, so it helps. Greg Tullier is pulling also. Greg Tullier, he was in Game of Arms, the show on AMC.
Oh yeah,
that's how long Craig's been doing the damn thing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, apparently arm wrestling's like riding a bike because everybody always comes back to it.
They do, and you can be 58 and still win a world title.
Yeah, and I mean Dennis is what, 250
pounds
years old
in his right arm.
Yeah.
I think Dennis is something like that. I saw him at Helm's Deep.
He's a centurion, I think.
Dude. Yeah. He's just like, in pictures, he doesn't look like a real human. He looks like a troll covered in skin.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an insane...
His hands?
His hand.
I remember the first time I saw his hands, I was like, those are not human hands. Those are like, he can't straighten anything. He just kind of looks like...
Looks like his body
looks like a prosthetic.
Yeah. Looks like his body started like... God built his forearms first and then built everything around his forearms and then didn't know like what to do.
I don't know.
I made his forearms are perfect, but I just don't know what to do with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, we'll just give him this one.
Fuck it. He looks great.
He's fine.
Cody Merritt is also going to be pulling again against Evgeny Prudnik. That's an interesting match. I mean, left arm. I don't remember last time Cody Merritt
95s? Isn't Prudnik a 95?
Yeah, I think he's going up to 115.
I don't think that's going to go well.
Maybe he's going to come in Devin Larratt for him.
Between now and then, he better start the friggin'. You better break the milk out.
That's like 20 days. Yeah, it's 24 days.
Fine. We should also do an episode on really funny, cool diets, like the Go Mad diet. You know about the Go Mad Gainer?
No.
Gallon of milk a day. You drink So it's the Go Mad diet. You drink a gallon of whole milk a day.
I do that.
You would have to like spread it out because if you do it all at once, you'll
die.
I do that between lunch and dinner.
No, but there's dudes. When I was in college, there was a dude that was. This is how sad this story is, and there's no way he'll ever listen to this, so it doesn't matter. He was a D3 walk-on, effectively. So like he was on the football team, but he didn't play, and like, dude, it's D3. Like, just stop. Just go lift weights and play intramurals or something. But this dude was like too stupid to quit, and so he just like
too legit.
He did He did everything he possibly could to like try to put on. He wasn't a big dude. That's the problem. Like even in D3 like football, you got to. I mean, you have to have some size on
big,
you.
Yeah.
And he had no. So his coach just kept on telling him like, dude, if you don't get bigger, you're not going to play. And he wasn't tall, so I mean, most of that, like most speed shit, was out of his whatever. And he wasn't. I mean, he basically was smart enough to be a fullback. No offense to fullbacks, but like he had a chance, but he just wasn't big enough. So he, the way he dealt with it was by trying out the GoMad, and the dude just like legitimately drank a gallon of like whole milk every day.
Damn.
And I remember I happened to go over to his house one day while he was like in the middle of this trying to gain weight. And he just like looked like shit. He was just like laying on his couch with like no shirt on, this like super distended belly with a half a gallon of
with a cute little mustache.
Yeah, he had a little milk mustache. I just remember because he was watching whitetail bow hunting DVDs on like a 15-inch DVD combo TV.
Drinking milk.
I'm
milk.
Literally,
it was the most Wisconsin thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm literally getting bloated from thinking about the scene of him drinking that much milk. Like I would literally be burping and shitting for like 9 days. Like that much.
Yeah, no.
Also, I'd be broke as hell because whole milk is
blackout rage gallon. Remember that thing? I don't know, kids were like combining like emergency and like vodka in gallon jugs and drinking that, and
oh my gosh, it's a good time.
Yeah, that's not a good time.
That's a different diet. But also real quick, Vitaly, this was interesting. This is what I saw earlier. Vitaly said that Michael Todd is actually a more difficult opponent than Devin. So Jiminy Crickets. I see that he says so he wants to face either Michael or Devin, really. So that's what he's saying. He wants Michael and Devin to face each other, and then
why?
He wants to face that. He wants to face that between.
Just give him Devin.
I know it's weird.
I don't want to see that again.
No, I don't.
Even now with the power of God and anime on his side.
Yeah. No, I really don't. I don't. What would be the difference? It almost just happened.
Yeah.
Like in the scheme of arm wrestling, it kind of just happened.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
It's like,
sorry, Mike.
I understand if Vitaly thinks that Michael's going to be the harder match, but it's like you haven't pulled Devin in forever. And they just pulled. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but the last time
I'm saying Vitaly hasn't pulled Devin in forever.
Yeah.
They pulled like one sick forever ago, and it's like just pull him now. How do you know that Michael's going to be the more difficult match? Because the match versus Michael and Devin would tell me that it's not going to be the easier.
I mean, I would argue that was a different Michael, but like,
for sure, post-traumatic stress.
I think we're like, the thing is like, I think like the first Devin match was like before the bell curve.
Yeah.
Then he hit the peak of the bell curve, and now I think he's on the other side of the bell curve. And I'm pretty sure there's a church somewhere that's going to get a new pastor.
Yeah.
And it's not the Iron Church.
Dude, he said he might go on a tour.
I know. I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm saying this for reals.
Yeah, it's not good. But it's just arm wrestling is still doing great. Honestly, it was a great event. It really, really was.
So East vs. West 17 is coming up.
Yeah, that's soon.
And watch it. There's a pay-per-view. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Check it out. This one didn't suck. There's like a few good matches on this one coming up. I hope they have like a banger main event or something.
Yeah.
Because they need to add something. But still have a little bit of time. So knowing Engen, he could add 28 matches in between now and then.
And get pissed off and pull somebody off. Or
yeah, maybe he'll come over. This is his he was in New Jersey, right? Did he go to the New Jersey one? Right?
I don't know.
I think he hasn't come over. He needs to get over here.
The canalization rats.
But
this episode was sponsored by the GoMad diet.
GoMad diet and Death Lift.
What does that stand for?
Just gallon of milk a day.
Oh. Okay.
We should record a podcast where we each drink a gallon of milk during the podcast.
I'm kind of down.
Okay.
I don't hate it, but only if we just shotgun them.
Oh my god. No.
And then the person
Might
who
be
pukes
strawberry
first.
milk.
No.
The person who
It
pukes.
has to be whole milk too.
Yeah, that's the most Cord King thing you could ever say.
Because if you do,
I want strawberry milk though.
but if you did,
Like,
if,
I don't want to puke, but if we ate things with it, like
Chalky.
raw meat, would that like offset? Like we wouldn't puke?
It has
Yeah,
to
I
be
think
lean.
that's
It
how
has
that
to be like
works.
super
I
lean,
think
right?
that's how
If
that
it was
works.
98%.
No. I'll
We
call
could
up-
boil some chicken breasts.
I'll call up. I call up my buddy, Joe Rogan,
Oh,
and he'll
God.
send us some raw elk,
Oh God.
and then we'll take some supplements, and
we
we'll,
can't mention his name unless he's giving us money.
Oh,
He has too much money.
Bo Grogan.
Uh,
Yeah, we're not gonna do that, but we could do a go mad cast.
I'm a mad cow disease cast.
Prion diseases and you. All right, this
Shoot,
is
man.
devolving.
This
This
is
is the Strong Casuals podcast, and as we always say, if you're gripping,
we're talking.